Hello students, it's Nazia Begum here, your physics lecturer, welcoming you all in today's lecture. Today, in this lecture, we are going to derive equations of motion for uniformly accelerated motion by using integration formula. You all are familiar with the equations of motion. You have already studied about that. Okay. Here in this book, some notations are different, like initial velocity, you have studied u, but here initial velocity is represented by VO. That means the velocity at time 0. That means initial velocity only. Okay. So this one notation is only different. Otherwise, all other things are same. So first of all, let us discuss the condition. Now suppose any object is at rest, okay, not started moving, or if it is moving, so that time when we start counting something, so that time we will take time equals to 0. So at time t equals to 0, initial velocity is v0, okay, and by applying some force we are increasing the velocity of the object. That means acceleration will be produced there, okay, and how much acceleration will be produced? It will be a. So any object is moving with initial velocity v0. By applying force we have accelerated the body and we have applied force for time t, and after time t the object achieved a velocity v, that is the final velocity, okay, and in this course of motion the object is moving along the plus x axis. That means the motion is in straight line. So is it clear? Initial velocity is VO. When we accelerated the body by giving it acceleration a for time t, the velocity becomes v. That means the final velocity is v here. And according to that, we are having three equations here. So first equation is v equals to VO plus AT. Okay, you can replace VO with u if you want. Second equation is x equals to XO. Now I will tell you this one. This equation x equals to XO1 can be written like this. X minus XO equals to VOT plus half AT square, and x minus XO means final position minus initial position, that means distance only. So here it is showing the distance. X minus XO is showing this distance, which we used to write as S. So in place of x minus XO you can write S also. So S equals to UT plus half AT square you was having. Here it is x minus XO equals to VOT plus half AT square. And third equation of motion is V square equals to VO square plus 2AS was there. So in place of S, x minus XO is there, where XO is the final position from where the object starts moving, and XO is the initial position from where the object started moving, and X is the final position where the object reaches after time t and gain velocity v. Okay. Now let us derive motion for constant acceleration using method of calculus. That integration method is also called calculus. Okay. So first equation of motion, as we all know that acceleration equals to change in velocity upon time interval, a equals to dv upon dt. So here what we will do, we will transport dt here this side, so it will become like this, dv equals to a dt. This equation can be written like this, dv equals to a dt. So now it is in integration form. Okay, now we will apply the integration formula. So here we have written dv, that means we are integrating velocity. So from where to where we are integrating it? We are integrating it from initial velocity to final velocity. That means from VO to V. And here a dt is written. So dt is there. That means with respect to t we will integrate. Okay, with respect to t when we will integrate, so what will be the limit? Limit will be from 0 to t. Why? because time we have started from 0 and we have finishes it at t. Be very careful about this. Okay, d, with whatever value d is there, we will put limit of that value only. That means integration will be with respect to that value only. Okay, so now here we have written like this. Now integration of dv will be v, upper limit and lower limit, equals to a c. Here we have to integrate with respect to t. A is not having t, so a will come out, and integration of dt only will be there from 0 to t. Okay, then by applying upper limit minus lower limit, we get this one, v minus vo equals to a dt. Now integration of dt will be t only. Okay, and when we apply that formula upper limit minus lower limit, so it will be t minus 0. So 0 term will become 0. So we will have only at. So by integrating this one, we will get at. So here we have v minus vo equals to at, or we can write it as v equals to vo plus at. So like this, we have derived our first equation of motion by calculus method. Now to derive the second equation of motion, we will take the formula of velocity. In first equation, we have taken the formula of acceleration. Here we will take formula of velocity. So v equals to dx upon dt. We rearrange this and write like this, dx equals to v dt. Now we will integrate it both the sides. So dx, that means here integration will be there with respect to position. So limit will be from xo to x, that is initial position to final position. And here t is there, integration with respect to time. So limit will be from 0 to t. Okay. Now one thing will be different here, that here in place of v, we will put the equation of motion from the first equation of motion, we will put value of v. So in first equation of motion, v equals to vo plus at. So that we put here vo plus at. Now this integration sign will go with this also and with this also, like this. Here you can see. Okay, it is the bracket now. So when we open the bracket, dt will be multiplied with vo and with at also. Okay, so like this we will get the next formula. After this line, we will get this line. Now here the integration is with respect to t, so there is no role of v naught, so it will come out. Here integration is with respect to t, so only t will be there and a will come out. So here you can see it has been written like that. Now when we integrate dt, we get t. When we integrate t, we get t square upon 2. How we will get it? Here, what is the power of t1? So when we will apply the formula of integration, so t 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1 equals to t square upon 2. T square upon 2 will be there. Okay. So by integrating t, we get t square upon 2. Okay. And when we apply limit here, so this 0 term will cancel, so only t term will be there. Okay, t minus 0 will be there, so 0 term will cancel. So vot plus at square upon 2. And here at the left hand side, what happened? When we integrate dx, we will get x, and by applying the limits, we get upper limit minus lower limit. So left hand side we have x minus xo, and right side we have vot plus at square upon 2. So we get this equation, or you can simply write this equation in this form only. Okay, in this form also, like this you can write this equation. I hope you all are understanding this. If you are not understanding, then please go and once again you see the video in which I have explained you how to integrate. Okay, the whole formula of integration, how to integrate, how to put limits, that things you first see there in that video, and then again come back to this video and try to understand it. If after that also you are not able to understand, you can message me, okay, WhatsApp me, then I will clear your doubts. Now we will derive third equation of motion. So here again we will take formula of acceleration, a equals to dv upon dt, but here one change will be there. Okay, dv upon dt is there, here we multiply and divide dx, okay, and write it like this. See, dv upon dx into dx upon dt. So when we cancel dx again we will get dv upon dt. Okay, so we have simply multiplied and divide dx here. Why we have done this, we will see. So dv upon dx, okay, that will be as it is, and dx upon dt will become v. So this equation can be written like this, v into dv upon dx. So here a equals to v into dv upon dx. Now we transport dx this side, so it will become a dx, and we can write it like this, v dv equals to a dx. Okay, now again we will integrate at both the sides. So here the integration is there with respect to v velocity, so limits will be from vo to v, initial velocity to final velocity. Here integration is there with respect to x, position, so initial position minus final position, initial to final position. Okay, then v dv, when we integrate v, we will get v square upon 2. Here a will come out and we will integrate dx. By integrating dx we will get x, and by applying upper limit minus lower limit we get a x minus x naught. Okay, this when 0 is there, so it is called x naught. Okay, it will be called as v naught. So now here by applying upper limit minus lower limit, we will have v square upon 2 minus v naught square upon 2. So generally, in general term, we can write it like this, v square minus v naught square upon 2, and here a x minus ax naught, or you can simply write it like this only. Then 2 is there in denominator, we transport it this side, so it will be multiplied with this. Okay, so we will have equation like this, v square minus v naught square equals to 2a x minus x naught. Then we transport this also this side, so minus v naught will come right hand side and become plus. So finally we have this formula, v square equals to v naught square plus 2a x minus x naught. You can replace it by u and x minus x naught by s. So it will become v square equals to u square plus 2as. So this is the third equation of motion. So here you can see the most famous and familiar form to write three equations of motion is this one, which you have studied in junior classes. Okay, so you should know both the style of writing the three equation of motion in terms of v naught, x naught, etc., and in terms of distance and u, etc. Okay, you should know both the types, because in competitive exam or other exams any type of form can come. Now suppose a body is freely falling from a height. Okay, like suppose a ball is simply falling under gravity, no other force is there and only gravitational force is there. So that time the general acceleration a can be replaced by g, that is gravitational acceleration. Okay, and the distance we are taking in x axis, that we will take in y axis. So in place of x we can put y. Are you understanding this? If a body is falling from height, okay, that means it is falling under gravitational force. So that time we can replace acceleration by gravitational acceleration and x, coordinate of x, by coordinate of y. But what if a body is going upward? Suppose we have thrown a ball up, so now the ball is going upside. Okay, that means it is now going against the gravity. Okay, when we have thrown the ball, we have once applied the force and then the ball is free to go up. So that time the ball is going against the gravity. So that time the acceleration will be negative. So that time what we will do, in place of g we will put minus g. So wherever G is there, in front of that minus sign will come. Okay, when the ball is falling from up to down, okay, when the ball is falling freely under gravitational force and coming down, that time G will be positive, and when the ball is going up, that time the G will be negative. So wherever G is there, here we will simply put negative signs. Okay, and one more thing is there, that y minus yo, that is the vertical distance, and vertical distance we can consider as height. So in place of y minus y naught, you can also write h. So these equations can be written like this also. Okay, h. In place of y minus y naught, we have written h. So this is all about. Three equations of motion. Now see you in next lecture. Till then, goodbye. Take care. Do some productive work and prepare well for your pre-midterm examination. Be safe. Be healthy.